This is the introductory lecture for the multiple personality disorder unit. We have the two authors we're reading, Wilkes at the top and Radin at the bottom. And so before we get into this, it's worth talking a bit about multiple personality disorder, or MPD, as at least Radin often refers to it, just so we have a bit of background. And we get a really good quick summary here in an article we're not reading by Walter Sinna Armstrong and Stephen Benke. So I'm basically just going to read this to you. Multiple personality disorder, also known as dissociative identity disorder, blah, blah, blah. Many people are unfamiliar with multiple personality disorder, so we begin by quoting its diagnostic criteria in the Diagnostic and Something Manual 4. A. The presence of two or more distinct identities or personality states, each with its own relatively enduring pattern of perceiving, relating to, and thinking about the environment and self. At least two of these identities or personality states recurrently take control of the person's behavior. Inability to recall important personal information that is too extensive to be explained by ordinary forgetfulness. And the disturbance is not due to direct physiological effects of a substance, for example, blackouts or chaotic behavior during alcohol intoxication, or a general medical condition, for example, complex partial seizures. Note in children, the symptoms are not attributable to imaginary playmates or other fantasy play. And so notice it's also known as dissociative identity disorder. I think this is basically what it's called. Like that, I think this is the only thing it's called today. The reason we're sort of calling it multiple personality disorder in this class is, number one, this is the terms that the authors are using because they're writing back when it was still called multiple personality disorder. And second, there's debate, as you'll see in the Radin article, the second one we read about, sort of like, oh, actually there's debate in both articles, but like Radin mentions more of it about like what exactly this is, and specifically one of the big debates is whether it's like socially caused, in the sense that like I don't know, the circumstances of society are what generate this disorder in people. And if it's sort of socially caused, if this is a sort of feature of certain times and places, then like you know, in principle, to have multiple personality disorder is one sort of socially determined thing that happened at a period of time for various individuals. And if today it's called dissociative, if today there is something called dissociative identity disorder that refers to what we used to refer to as multiple personality disorder, and if these are all sort of socially caused things, then like maybe changing its name for and changing the diagnostic criteria, as you know, these things have maybe evolved over time. Maybe different things are like, in fact, different disorders. Like it's very hard to draw lines between like disorders, even assuming they're not socially caused. But if they are socially caused, if they're just like a feature of how we understand ourselves and about how we treat ourselves and each other, then plausibly what was going on in the past is similar to what's going on right now, but also different in certain ways, you know, different social causes, different social effects, things like this. So just to not beg any questions, we're just going to sort of be looking at multiple personality disorder, whatever it consisted of at the times that these authors were writing, which was the 80s and the early 2000s. And then, is it still the same today? Maybe, maybe not. There's debate about this. So if it's dissociative identity disorder today, it is a substantive claim that this is the same thing that the authors were writing about back then. So again, we just don't want to beg any questions. And this is the stuff we're basically talking about. And we'll get more details as we read the two articles.